All right, here's what we do in the morning, starting pretty much every day. I come in here and run a little bit of bath water, warm bath water, and I use a little sprayer there to a lot for everything, for me and the dog and the reptiles. But I fill up, maybe about an inch water in the tub. Then I will, and like I said, it's warm water, and reptiles really enjoy that versus cold water, of course. But we'll come in here next, and I have a little heater here in the bathroom. Little heater, and I always turn that on and warm the room up to a nice little warm temp. And I will I gotta shut the doors behind me because the dog will follow and create chaos. Come into the reptile room. They don't hang out in the room because it's cold, it's winter. And then now it's getting down, in the 60s in here in the room. I don't heat the whole room because I'd have to heat the whole house. But so I keep them here in this makeshift enclosure. Oh, and there's Mac. He's waiting. Hey, Mac. He's waiting on his shelf. Hey, Mac. He's a sweet boy. Oh, and he's growing. He's probably 35 inches now. I don't know. I haven't measured him, but I've got their little heater right there that keeps, depending on how warm I want to keep it in their enclosure, and then their little light bulb. And here I've got, let's see if I can get it to pan over. I've got all their electronics and a timer that turns on in the morning and shuts off at night. There's the ZoomEd UVB lamp, 30 inches. And that's got the UV bulb, the 5, so it's the more intense bulb. And then there's their 100-watt ZoomEd bulb for heat, UVA. And then just real quick before I start the process of getting them ready for the day, here's enclosure where they bed out. Number 1, I've made some changes, and I've put 2 to give them the freedom to get away from each other. I have a red Tegu in here too that's in one of the boxes. And then I have the other box right here. And basically there's a lot of moist dirt in there and some sphagnum moss, and I made it a little bit deeper so they can burrow. But those are the 2 burrows that they have the choice to go to, and this is just a center portion with just a piece of bark. But water's right there. And that's everything. So let me take Mac in there, I guess. Let me pick him up. Start the day. Starts about 10:30. Hang on. I only got one hand. Makes it tough. Come in here in a nice warm room, and we're going to set the camera down real quick. All right, test the water, make sure it's not too hot. You ready to take? This is their little bit of their soaking time, and for them to go to the bathroom, and just helps them to wake up. I'm 100%, 99.9% comfortable with this guy now. He's really, really sweet. I can touch his head with no worries and stroke him, and even touch the front and let him. I'm not worried about being bit or anything anymore. He is just a sweetheart. But we'll put him in here sometimes. I do give them a way to get out with a towel, but I'll lift that up. Now I don't want him out. So there he is. He'll spend probably the next 20 minutes here in the water. He goes poo-poo more towards about 11 o'clock, and so it's about 10:30 right now. But he'll just hang out here in the water, kind of walk around, and sometimes he just settles down and closes his eyes and zonks out for a little bit, but then hopefully he will go to the bathroom. Just makes it so much easier because his and hers, the little red Tegu's poop, can be so smelly depending on what they eat. They both have eaten mice and rats, so guess what? But hopefully that comes out real smoothly and I can just wash it down the drain because it is really smelly. And this just makes it so much easier because it will stink that entire room up to, I mean, where I have to come in with incense and Lysol, and very difficult to get rid of that smell. But here it's very easy to get rid of the smell. So this is kind of why I do it, and I've gotten in a habit. But Maccabee. The black and white Tegu versus the red Tegu. The red Tegu seems to be a little more water adapted. Is a little more likes the water, I think. The red Tegu will close his eyes, put his head under the water, and he will swim. And the black and white has never done that. But the red Tegu is smaller, so it's more water to the red Tegu than the black Tegu. But even when the black Tegu was small, he never really did that. So the red Tegu, as I've mentioned in past videos, is very, very different. And the red Tegu is more of a climber. Hence, her nails are so much sharper and fine tipped than Mac's nails. He's more, I think, more of a ground Tegu, and the red one is potentially more either a digger or a climber. But I won't bore you with any more information about that, but we'll wait till he tends to go to the bathroom, and then we'll move on from there, and then we'll move the red one in here and see her, because she's turning into a sweet reptile too. And I enjoy the red Tegu. Sassy is her name. Enjoy her a lot too. She's growing up, and she's still not loving to be touched and cuddled and stuff like that, but she is more friendly, and thank goodness she's not a biter, because if you have a Tegu that's independent and then you go to pick them up and they bite you, and they're both things, it could turn out to be a negative pet experience. If they walk around and they look like they want to get out, and you've just put them in there, but the water's not deep, they're not drowning, you can safely leave them in there for 20-25 minutes. Never leave them sitting in any water unattended, just like a small child. And after 30 minutes, if he's showing signs or she's showing signs that it's time to get out, take them out. Put them on a towel, and then I'll move both of these up to the sun to a warm spot. Like Mac will act like he wants out. There you go, he just went poopy. Oh, there we go. Sorry if this is gross, but there he went to the bathroom. Now I gotta get him where he will mush it all up and get it on him, even though he's in the water. Okay, once Mac has done his business, I will typically wash out the tub and move him up here where he can sit in the sun Can't have the window open right now because it's still pretty cold outside, and the cold air would come rushing in and just not be good for his respiratory system, and cool the bathroom down. So the little window portion stays closed, a sliding window, but he comes up here, hangs out in the sun, and he'll be up here for about 30 minutes. He'll be up here for 30 minutes, and he'll just hang out. He'll look out the window. Got something on his face right there. Got a piece of gravel on his eye. Oh, got it. Piece of gravel. What's cool is they have like double eyelids. Tegus, and because of the very bright light in the background or outside, they have a main eyelid that closes, and they have an eyelid that slides, just like alligator, where they have a little membrane, or a shark has a membrane that kind of closes to protect their eye. Very, very interesting when they'll apply the top one that drops down or the one that slides back. Let's see if I can get him to. So they have like two eyelids. It's really, really fascinating. So he is a predator. What I call him is he is a guided missile. Tegus are a missile when it comes to prey. You put them down, and it's even better as a guided missile. They are so awesome. They are on a mission, and you pull the trigger and fire them, and they just launch. And before the prey even knows that this large lizard is on them, and their head goes exactly, the Tegu's mouth goes right on the skull, and it's just instant crush. Pretty amazing, these Tegus. But he just sits up here. Such a cool animal. Cannot stress. If you tame them down, get them when they're young, and they bond with you, and they become friendly, and you build trust with them. I mean, it's just an amazing experience if you're a reptile person. If you're not, then you look at this and go, that person's crazy. What's wrong with him? But some of us enjoy reptiles and some of us don't, and I can relate and understand that. But let's move away from him and go get Sassy, the red Tegu, and put her in the tub now. That when I leave him up there, that he is situated so he does not fall down off his perch and into the tub. Even though there's some water in there, I don't want him to fall. So let's be quick. Let's get Miss Sassy out. Okay, she has retired, or just temporarily gone into a hide, is what some people call it. There she is. So you can see the soil in here is really loose. I need to, every day I moisten it. Every day I spray this cage with water, mist, 6 or 7 times a day, all day long. It is a serious job to have Tegus, and if you get one, it is a serious job. It's difficult to have a full-time job where you have to leave your house and be gone for 9 hours and have Tegus. I mean, it can be done, but they require so much effort. They're like little children that require so much attention, and they need the attention. They want the attention, and it's part of the bonding process, just like a child. So let's take Sassy into the tub now. She's gotten pretty cool with me picking her up, even though she doesn't necessarily like it. She'll do the backup shuffle. Oh, makes it tough with one hand. Okay, I got her on the other arm. So here goes Sassy. Never throw them in the tub, just... I gotta speak more quietly because my voice carries and tends to upset. But she will just relax. She'll come in here and then she'll just typically put her feet out like she's soaking on a warm rock. She's in a little deep water for her, but she'll just sit there. She'll spread out her legs and sit there for about 10 minutes, and then she'll go poopy. Much smaller, even though she had a mouse, it'll be much smaller poopy, and it'll be white and a lot of yellow. Very rarely is it black or dark brown, blackish gray, like the bigger Tegu. Very, very different reptiles, but she will sit in the water. Let me see if I can get up close. Very observant reptiles. They'll watch me. I can see with their eyes. Their eyes will follow you, and they're interested. Hey, Sassy. She doesn't like to be rubbed and pet on the head. She won't. You can pet her on the head, but she will kind of shun it away and likes to just be independent, and that's okay. Her tail is growing back. I'll show you her tail. Her tail now is fully grown back, and it looks pretty normal. If you haven't watched other videos, probably a couple of months ago, maybe 3 months ago, we had an incident with the dog and this Tegu, and she lost a little bit of her tail, about an inch of her little tail. But luckily, she was still just such a small baby that the tail would grow back, and you would probably never know that that she had that little event happen. But she's recovered. Shuttered. Hopefully, you can hear my audio, and I don't drop my mic in the tub. So she gets a coating of vitamin E oil on her back. It was her tail before, but now it's her back. And so a lot of dust and dirt collects on their back, and so she needs a little scrub when I bring her in. And I will take a little toothbrush. She gets startled really easy. A little brush, and put some water on it, and I'll scratch her little back. She puts up with it. It's like being a zookeeper in the reptile house at a zoo. Except you have a whole bunch of reptiles that you gotta care for. I have a bunch of mice, I've got a dog, I've got a boa, and I've got these 2 Tegus. So they keep me very, very busy during the day. At nighttime, when they're all asleep, after about 5 p.m., it's all good. They go to bed and no worries. But she'll go poop in here, and then we'll dry her off, and then we just go back into sunning on the ledge for a little bit. She likes to do that too. And then they will go back in their cage. I gotta be very quiet, but she is getting ready. She's making the body movements that she's got something that's gonna come out. She sees me and is like thinking that I'm going to get her out, but not until she goes to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom, Sassy. We can get out. Do your business. She's going to go back in the water. But she just wanted out. Excuse my looks, but I usually don't get started till in the afternoon or the later in the morning if I don't have something that I have to get up for. So she's a lot more friendly. And I love her too. You can see her tail. She's just more independent. And kind of likes to not be restrained. Where the black and white is not. Ow, God, their nails. This one's nails are just razor pinpoint sharp. I mean, they actually just hurt sitting on my skin. And I have tough skin now. Just hurts. It cuts me up. And is just incredibly sharp. So oh God, her nails are just so sharp. She's always looking for a way to get down on the ground. She loves to not be told what to do. And her name is Sassy, because she's sassy. Ow. Dang, man. She's the one that tears up my arms. But she will let me peel her when her skin's not peeling. And this, like I mentioned, thank goodness she's not a biter, because she could be such a handful if she was a nipper. And even at this size, it hurts to get bit. Ooh, man, you can just feel the nails. They dig in like a syringe. But she's a chronic shedder problem. And her humidity, I go to the ends of the world to make sure humidity is 70% in her cage. And it does not matter. And I spray her down, and I mist her, and I mist their sleeping area. And I mean, there's a point where you can add too much moisture to a room, and you can endanger the room's health or your health by mold. But I go to the end of the world to make sure her humidity is 70% or more, 70 to 80%, and it doesn't matter. And her heat is good. Her heat, is in the mid 80s to all the way up to 110. They don't like it super, super hot. They will constantly move away from the heat if it's really hot. And so I've learned their habits and what they like and what they don't like. And so I'm doing everything to the best of my ability. And her diet is crazy insane. She's eating a lot of everything. Seafood. They're still not into vegetables, but she gets vitamins that supplement the vegetables. And so diet, I don't think diet is anything. The big one up there. Oh. Oh. So her diet is good. I don't think there's anything I need to change that's going to help the situation with her shedding. Make sure the big one doesn't fall. But she's a sweetheart. She is too. As long as she's not a biter, that would be bad. No biting, bad. The bathtub is a good experience because it changes up the routine of the day. It gives them something else to stimulate them, I feel. Also, it can give them some exercise. They're swimming, they're doing something different. Tegus cannot just be stuck in their cage and left and thinking that they need enrichment like a lot of reptiles, because out in the wild, they do a lot of different things and have a lot of different decisions to make. And I think it plays into their health to have other things than just being locked up in a cage. The same thing over and over and over and over. And then they get handled. And then you got to take them out of their cage for a couple hours, depending. See there, she's going to the bathroom. I thought she was, where there was some urine. Go to the bathroom, Sassy, and I'll let you out. But yeah, they need a lot of different things, and you need to, take them out of their smaller enclosure, if it's 4 foot or 8 foot or 9 foot in dimension, and let them into a bigger room, and so they can wander around, and that takes supervision too. When they're not pinned up in a safe space, you've got to constantly watch them. Like pick up a book and sit in the chair and constantly keep an eye on them, because they can get into trouble very, very quickly, which could lead to harm or death. So you got to take care of them, and it's just a rewarding hobby for some, not all, and that's why a lot of people get these, like in Florida, and they get them and they become too much and they let them go, and then they create all kinds of problems, and then people, the states take away the right to own these animals because they're let go or they're unhumanely treated, and then they create problems. So we don't want that to happen. So you got to know what you're getting into and be full ready to adapt and adopt different plans to take care of them as they grow up and their needs change. Okay, Sassy's not going to go to the bathroom today in the tub, but she'll likely, oh man, she got me on the face. Oh, with her nails. Oh, luckily it didn't get me in the eye, but feels like someone gave me a shot, an injection. No shots for me. Can you see that? I got a little claw mark right there that's bleeding. One that's right there that's bleeding a little bit right there. Got scratched right there, so really close to my eye. But that's how sharp her nails are. It's crazy. I mean, and she's not super heavy, but they just dig in, and they cut me and cut my arms. Not terrible. Ooh, we gotta be careful because they can slide off that ledge and fall into the tub in a hurry. Him is closely, and he kind of tries to shake her off, but her claws are so sharp that she can hang on like a rodeo clown. See, Max's nails wear down as he does things and they break, the tips break off, and they're not nearly as sharp. And her little nails are, hopefully the camera can maybe focus that, super super sharp. Woo! Just put up with it, buddy. She's a girl. All right, here's my dedication to my reptiles. I don't make have just a ton of money, especially in the times that we've been in and that we are in and that we are headed towards. But these mice, I mean, you've got to feed these Tegus mice. If you watch videos of the breeders raising Tegus, with multi $1,000s of Tegus that they're breeding, they feed them mice and rats. And so the mice and the rats have everything pretty much nutritional that they need, other than, some occasional fruit and some other things that you can supplement and vitamins. But these mice right here, just these 3 packages were like $33 or maybe $35. They were quite expensive. They were all like $11.99 and $10.99 because I'm currently raising mice. I mean, and I don't want to raise mice. It's not that great. I mean, I don't like feeding the mice that I'm raising because, I kind of bond to them. But I've got a bunch of different mice, male and female, with different babies in different containers. And I invested in buying those containers and water bottles and food. And it takes every day cleaning their cages and feeding them and maintaining them. So, raising mice isn't fun, and there's a little bit of odor that comes with that if you don't stay on top of cleaning that cage. They can't stay outside in very, very, very cold weather, so they've got to be inside. And in my garage, it gets really, really cold too. So they're inside my house, so I've got to maintain them and take care of them. But all the babies are still really small, and they would just be, my Tegus would eat like 6 at a time or 10 at a time, the larger one, Mac. So yeah, there's the mice, but you can see them, man, they go crazy. They poop like nobody's business. Every day it takes cleaning out their cage. That's just one female mouse and like 12 of her babies that now have fur. And then this one here, and I made all their enclosures and stuff, and that she is one female in there, and she's got about 12 little pinkies, and they're all hidden inside that little hide right there. And then here I've got a couple of the males in here because they can't stay with the females all the time because they could potentially eat the babies and create havoc. And plus too, they're so hump ready. They're just bother the crud out of the females trying to, jump their bones around the clock. But yeah, so there's my mice, and I have to keep them covered because one of them is an escape artist, and he can climb glass. If he was in a glass enclosure, and it was 2 feet tall, he has gecko feet somehow. He will climb out and get out of anything I put him in. So you got to have a top. The other ones, the females, I don't need a top, but I got to keep the dog out too because the dog comes in here and wants to see what's going on. But other than that, thanks for tuning in. It's the end of the video finally. Hopefully people found some informative information, enjoyed my video. It was entertaining to watch. Hopefully it was. And tune in again for future videos, and I will catch you again, like I said, on a new video for Tegus and snakes and boas. Okay, bye-bye.